Hey, what's up, everybody? And this is week 12 of my one-year rebuild program, spanning from October 2021 to October 2022. I'm going to spend a little bit of time explaining further on this intro page. I'm still doing power building. I will all the way through October of 2022. But you see now the upper and the lower focus. On the upper focus, I've got chest. And that's just because over my lifetime, through my health experience and treatments, I have actually lost some of my natural muscle tissue in my chest. So I use the focus of the bodybuilding hypertrophy program to try to optimize, the amount of chest tissue that I have and try to bring up my bench press. On the lower focus, I've got quads, and that's from looking at the difference between my deadlift and my squat. My deadlift is about 25% more than my squat. And what I see in elite powerlifters is that ratio is usually about a 15% difference where the deadlift is more. It means that my quads are relatively weak compared to my posterior chain. And so I use the lower focus to develop my quads and try to improve that difference. Now, unlike last week, I'm starting off pretty good on the readiness factor. Motivation is high, rest is good, and carrying over some of the good performance from the previous week. You wouldn't know it, but this first set is about 10% more than what I started with last week. So that's some of the impact of the readiness.
Killer combo!
And first combo set of the week. Some assisted pull-ups. And maybe I could do a little bit better planning when I combine the two exercises here. You'll see here I'm coming up to the leg press. They're actually not next to each other or near each other in the gym. Got to walk the distance of a boxing ring a little bit. But all right, I can get there. And fortunately, the leg press is not very popular, and I can always get it when I need it. And getting beamed in here for some good mornings. I think this is the third microcycle that I've been doing good mornings. Took me a bit to get used to them. My setup now is very similar to the low bar squat as far as the bar positioning and my foot stance. But I'm starting to like these, and I think they are part of the reason why my upright strength and squats have improved. And part of chest every workout, incline press, same chest activation, less stress on the elbows.
Monster combo!
And as far as combo sets go, this is like the ideal setup. I had exercise 1, incline curls there on the bench, and I could set up right next to it for some calf extensions with the dumbbells. On the day 2 now, and it's the first bench press of the week. This is comp style with normal grip. Feeling pretty good how bench press is coming along on this session. I was able to complete all sets, top set and back off sets, for the first time with, at least one 20 kilo plate on each side. Not a whole lot of weight, but a good milestone for me in my rebuild program. And sometimes it seems like I'm just having fun in the gym with a camera. Got a funny angle here where the tripod and the camera were on top of the rack facing down. But you never know what you're going to see. When I looked at the video for this, I noticed a lot of misalignment. My arms, my elbows, my shoulders are not moving the same left to right. There's some structural issues there that I need to work on. They're somewhat rooted, I think, in the treatments that I've had. I mentioned in the introduction the loss of chest tissue. That's mainly on my left side and probably explains why I have some of the misalignment on the bench. So that's why I take all the angles to see things I just can't see or feel for myself. Alright, so am I a Star Trek fan? I don't know, not really. I think I've seen all the movies, but that's what came to mind when my headset became a visor over my face. And photobombed by a cement pillar, so I moved it. Okay, not really. I moved the camera and the tripod and changed the camera angle, but that's one way to move cement. If you watch my videos and watch my Instagram, you might think all I do is ever go to the gym. But here I am kind of celebrating a midweek break, a pause between workouts and enjoying a bit of ice cream with the nice weather. All right, and back to training, and it's the first time to squat in this week. Still now using the sleeves and the belt. If they're feeling a little bit more comfortable, I'm getting a little bit better at the breathing and how the breathing feels, but still a ways to go with that. I did feel good about these sets on this day. I was able to complete all training sets with more than a pair of 20 kilo wheels on each side, so over 100 kilograms. I mean, it's still a ways to go for me to completely finish the rebuild phase and get back to where I was pre-COVID. But as a milestone in my training, getting back to this, it felt pretty good. And a bunch of gear in the gym, so kind of looking like a powerlifter again. I think in my bag this day I had 2 pairs of shoes. You see the hand sanitizer there. There's a shaker bottle with protein. Got some hand straps in there, the lever belt. Also my oximeter is in there. And of course when I'm making videos, my tripod is in use, but when I'm not recording videos, then the tripod's in the bag too. So at least if I'm not lifting powerlifter type weights, at least maybe I'm bringing all the gear to the gym like a powerlifter.
Peekaboo, 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 peekaboo.
And I don't really like doing calves, but you know what I dislike even more? Is not having calves. So I'm doing calves now at about 2 or 3 times a week. And, I've been feeling pretty good in the core. I feel like it's helping me in things like the upright squat. So these are some out-of-program banded dead bugs. And second time to bench coming up. This is the extra wide grip bench where I put my index fingers just outside the 82 centimeter rings. I feel like my foot and leg setup here has gotten better. A couple of weeks ago, I saw just some big misalignment between the space and my feet side to side and how close my knees were to my torso. But this bench, on the other hand, needs a lot of work. And that's it for power lifts in this training session. On to some accessories. Vertical pull here, still doing those assisted. Some cable work here, the lateral raises for the shoulders. Oh, look, more chest. Seated cable rows. Now my training log says it's been 3 months since I've done this. But I think 3 months ago I was using a wide grip, something similar to the same width as my bench press. These are narrow grip, and what I'm trying to do here is mimic, if you will, the setup I use in the bench press. I'm pulling my shoulder blades together, retracting them, bringing them down a bit, trying to create stability through my shoulders and through my upper body to help my bench press. And so, you also have this idea that a big, strong back is something that's needed for a big, strong bench. So I'm doing these narrow grip with in mind of trying to improve my bench. And okay, maybe this camera angle is just for fun. I mean, here I am doing tricep push downs, but you can't actually see the triceps. Feeling motivated by how strong I feel lately in the core. So these are out of program and some banded 3-point planks. Phew, and heading into day 5, the last day of the training week. It's a toughie. There's a hip and knee focused movements in this one. Starting off here with the Sumo deadlift, you see a little bit of my setup. And I remember this set, the first rep, I felt like I misgrooved it. You see me leaning forward a little bit, and it felt a little bit difficult. And, found my groove a little bit better, got my hips a little bit lower and closer to the bar, and the rest of the reps went okay. And now profile view of the Sumo deadlift. And it seems to be a bit of a pattern on that first rep. I just kind of misgrooved myself. You can see on that first rep, I didn't get as upright as the following reps. So I'm not worried about it here, but it's certainly something for me to think about if I ever get back to competing. You get one rep, one chance, and everything's got to be on. Those of you that have a private place to train, a home gym, garage gym, basement gym, sometimes I really do admire you. Here at a commercial gym, you see there I have to wait for the traffic sometimes. It's nice to get an unobstructed view of your training videos, especially if you're going to share them like this. This set went pretty well. I think by the time I looked up to start performing this set, I could see from the corner of my eye somebody approaching, about to cross, and I was thinking to myself, all right, just finish before the cross. Oh. Didn't make it. But, oh well. Good set to finish on for the Sumo deadlifts. The setup for these high bar squats is sped up. You'll notice my walkout there. I don't know what I would call that. Maybe a 2-step and a half. After about 2 steps, my feet were about in position. I just had to wiggle them a little bit to really get the toes lined up. Looking at this video gave me the idea that maybe I could bring my grip width in a little bit. I'm using the same grip width here as I would for low bar, but the bar is really supported by my traps. They don't need to be that high, so maybe I'll try bringing those in the future.
Awesome combo!
Some leg curls here to make sure there's balance with the quads after doing squats. And on this day I did some flies as part of my chest every workout. Last movement of the day and the week with a bar. It's good mornings for the posterior chain. And here I am on the floor doing more core. And that's it for week 12 training summary. Here's where you can find me on social media platforms. If you enjoyed this video, found it interesting, please consider leaving a like. I make these training summaries once a week. If you want to know when the next one is available, please consider subscribing with notifications. Thanks again, everyone. Hasta.